tell. It's gonna be a great Noel. It's the Advent Calendar House. Muppets, Batman, Smurfs, and even Garfield's Halloween. We're gonna take a trip down memory lane. Frosty, Rudolph, and a bunch you've probably never seen. It's Mike and pals that come to entertain. Turn the knob and lift the latch for fun and laughs that can't be matched. And just beware the icy patch. It's the Advent Calendar House.
Welcome to the Advent Calendar House's barely annual Easter in July special. This year, Easter in July happens to actually fall on a Sunday, so we're making it a Scrooge Sunday, and I found just the special. So let's take a quick hop back to 2004 to join Winnie the Pooh as we spend springtime with Roo. I am chronically depressed donkey with an affinity for wearing rabbit ears, Mike Westfall. And joining me is my own personal time-traveling Easter Bunny. It's Sammy Hain. Hi, Sammy.
It could have been the small cast of any small boy, but this was the podcast of Mike Westfall. Him and his special guests had magical holiday adventures, and one of them was me, Sammy Hain. Hello, everyone.
Oh, I really don't want my life to have a narrator now.
Not if it's me.
And his top's made out of rubber, and I'll take his word for the rest. It's Matt Spalding. Hey, Matt. Oh, well done.
Hey, glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
Thank you both for being here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to hear about your histories with this special. I hesitate to call it obscure because I don't ever think it was hard to find, but yeah, let's start with you, Matt.
Interestingly enough, I don't have this was my first time ever seeing this special.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, and I say interestingly enough because I really love Winnie the Pooh. I've actually got Winnie the Pooh right here the other day. I picked up at a garage sale. I have a collection of them.
There he is.
I'm a big Winnie the Pooh fan. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up and is still my favorite Disney movie. And I think I'm one of the only people in the world that actually enjoyed Christopher Robin.
I liked it.
Okay, good.
We found two.
It wasn't super well received, but anyway, that's beside the point. I say all this to say that I did miss a couple of them. I missed, I've never seen the Tigger movie, I've never seen the Heffalump movie, and I have never seen this one in particular. Basically the offshoot movies I've never seen.
Okay. Sammy, what about you?
Okay, so what I gather here is we weren't covering Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's
no, that's
let me
later.
just adjust
That's
my
later.
notes here. That's no. I know I did say that. I think this comes up on my stays here. My 15 years in a used book and entertainment store, and I remember this was at a time when I was back living with my mom when she was in her later years, and man, I was going to make sure we kept doing Easter, and we always I always had a little PVC rabbit that my mom made part of our Easter baskets.
Oh, wow.
And this came across the desk, and I was like, all right, I'm going to make her sit down and watch this with me. This is just right for us. And so I remember, we would have our Easter dinner and everything, and she was there nodding, shaking her head like, oh, this is so ridiculous. But it brought up a lot of conversations about Easter we had when we were little. And so, yeah, I have one good memory with it. I probably didn't think of it again until 2 weeks ago.
Well, happy to help. So the first year I watched this was 2013. And the only reason I know that is because I found an old post I wrote on Facebook that said, y'all should really watch Winnie the Pooh Springtime with Roo if you ever wanted to see Rabbit as Easter Scrooge. And of course you do. But even then, it had been around a while. Springtime with Roo was released direct to video on March 9th, 2004. I'm actually surprised this is the first Winnie the Pooh holiday special that I've done so far. Yeah, because there's a lot more than I realized, and this is one of the later ones.
Well, there's Very Merry Pooh Year.
Yeah.
That's a long story because that's a combination of an older I believe it was just a solo episode of the Saturday morning cartoon Winnie the Pooh. It's Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2.
Mhm.
That old trick.
And then they tacked on a New Year's story and wrapped up an old episode of the Saturday morning cartoon. I believe it was a Saturday morning cartoon into a New Year's story.
Huh.
But it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I didn't look at it first. Like back then, like there's so many of those DVDs out there. Like this is the SpongeBob Easter, this is the Ninja Turtle Christmas, and it's maybe there's an episode with a snowflake in the back or something. So, but yeah, this one was all original. This is
Yeah, I was surprised, but if you want to watch this, it's on Disney Plus, of course. I also saw a copy floating around the Internet Archive, along with just the DVD menu. That's a thing that people seek out, apparently. That, and also I found just the opening and the closing to the DVD in case you're really jonesing for someone to shout, coming soon to theaters. at you."
At a volume that is way louder than the rest of the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh, the 2-year-olds watching or crying.
It's real. But let's hop to it. We open, as we often do, in the bedroom of Christopher Robin, who, by the way, isn't in this special
Yeah.
at all. Narrator has to start somewhere, I guess. And our narrator for this is David Ogden Stiers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like any small child, Christopher Robin had toy animals to play with, and together they shared many exciting and unusual adventures.
Last time he showed up on this podcast, it was a Thanksgiving episode of Alf in which he played a homeless man hanging out in Willie's garage.
Charles Emerson Winchester III.
Oh, also that.
Yeah, who fingered Alf and turned him into the feds, the narc.
He did.
All right, he redeemed himself, Alf. But
He's the alien.
That sentence turned out a lot less dirty than it started.
Good night, everybody.
pull it back. Pull it back.
But yeah, this starts out with the old zoom in and on an actual Winnie the Pooh storybook, but it quickly turns silly as the book sitting on the windowsill starts to jump.
Oh. Oh.
And even the narrator's confused until out of the book jumps our star of this special, Little Roo.
Hi, Mr. Narrator.
Hello, Roo.
And Roo is voiced by Jimmy Bennett, who was 8 years old when this released, so he was probably 7 when he recorded it.
Okay.
Later in 2004, we'd hear Jimmy Bennett in the Polar Express. He was Billy, full name Billy the Lonely Boy, who's sitting in the back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, maybe if you didn't call him Billy the Lonely Boy, he wouldn't have such
Right?
a bad.
Jimmy Bennett was also a voice in I Want a Dog for Christmas, Charlie Brown, as the voice of Rerun, Linus and Lucy's younger brother.
Mm.
I adore Rerun.
That one gets packaged with that one might be on the 4K with Charlie Brown's Christmas. Actually,
Probably.
now that I've never seen it, it's on there, but I'm like, oh, that's that other Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Yeah, that's the third of three that three at the time. I think Snoopy has one he's in the title of now, but but here Roo is excited to learn today's story is about him, so he excitedly hops back into the book. We enter the 100 Acre Wood on a quiet, peaceful morning, except for Roo, who excitedly tells us it's Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting ready to go to Rabbit's house for a big Easter egg hunt because, and I didn't know this, Rabbit also happens to be the Easter Bunny.
So he says, you know.
The Easter Bunny.
Well, is he though?
In Christopher Robin's mind,
We're all the Easter Bunny in our heart. Yeah.
sure, he has conflated the two, so.
Why is Christopher Robin British and all his toys are American?
Hey, well, Pooh kind of.
Well, I take that back. Owl is British, but
Owl
Owl
is
isn't even
British.
in this special.
No, Owl's
No.
not here. Pooh has that kind of transatlantic accent.
Oh,
Oh, bother. Yeah, I don't know. But Rabbit is certainly not the first curmudgeon-y Easter Bunny we've met on this podcast, but we'll see. But On Rue's way out the door, we also meet his mother, Kanga, voiced here by Kath Soucie.
Well, you better eat up then. You can't hunt eggs on an empty stomach.
That's what Winnie the Pooh says, too.
And he's exactly right. So you can go just as soon as you're finished.
All done.
I last talked about her on the Rugrats Passover episode. She's the voice of Phil and Lil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll run into her again soon, but Kanga's got to make sure Rue eats something before he heads out, so he wolfs down his breakfast and heads outside, bouncing right into his best friend Tigger.
Happy Easter, Tigger!
Oh, you bounced me good, Rue boy.
Who, of course, is voiced by the one and only Jim Cummings.
Oh, of course.
Yes, indeed. T-I-double-G-R, that spell Tigger.
And he is all set for hunting as a giant supply pack with like basketballs and brushes, a bottle of wine. That one I agree with.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what do you need the wine for?
He's got a dreidel in there. Oops, wrong holiday.
He's got a dreidel. Different holiday, he says.
Good.
He's well prepared.
I went to an Easter egg hunt for grown-ups this year, and I turned in my Easter hat because I forgot my basket.
Hey,
But I happen to have a Santa sack in my car, though, so...
there you go. So you got a bag full of stuff to help him and Rue find Easter eggs, as he calls them.
Easter eggs.
But so off they go. Meanwhile, we catch up with Pooh,
My tummy and I have been so looking forward to this day.
who's also voiced by Jim Cummings. We last talked about Jim Cummings on this podcast on an episode of Animaniacs. He was one of the three kings singing We Three Kings.
Jim Cummings is incredible. He's one of the like four people that's everything, you know. So,
Yeah, really. He's got to be on the Mount Rushmore. Like
And-
him, Frank Welker, Mel Blanc, and June Foray.
Yeah, and he's been Winnie the Pooh and Tigger forever at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the Saturday morning cartoon and everything as both of them. So
Right.
Video games, like, it's...
Mhm.
So Pooh is following a butterfly when he trips and falls right onto Piglet, flattening him. The end.
Thanks for coming.
No, Piglet's fine. Piglet's fine.
Oh,
They're all stuffed. It's okay.
Mhm.
Oh, hello, Pooh. I'm glad I ran into you, because now we can go to Rabbit's house together. I can't wait to see what he's doing for Easter this year.
It's John Fiedler voicing Piglet in this. He's the only voice actor from the original theatrical Winnie the Pooh shorts that's in this.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of his last appearances before his death in 2005.
Yeah, he was the one that was around. I mean, Sterling Holloway and all those guys.
Yeah, they were gone, yeah.
before.
I think
Yeah.
Paul Winchell might have still been alive, but retired
Yeah, that might be true.
during
I
this
can't
one.
remember.
I think him
Yeah.
and John Fiedler died the same year. But
Yeah.
do you know John Fiedler from anything else?
The Golden Girls.
Well,
Golden Girls, yep.
basically all the old sitcoms, but he
Mhm.
was in one of my gotta be top 3 favorite Christmas specials of all time.
Oh.
Mm.
It was Night of the Meek, Twilight Zone.
Mhm.
Oh, is he in that too?
He was Mr. Dundee.
That's right. He is. Mm-hmm.
That is on my list because I have to complete the Art Carney trilogy.
Special.
You do.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Art Carney action figure for it right there, but I remember his voice so much from that. Like,
okay. Oh yeah. Like I mean, his actual voice is basically Piglet.
yeah,
Oh yeah. You watch. That's why his appearance on the Golden Girls was so funny, because he was Eddie, the divorced love machine, who was irresistible to women no matter what he tried to do.
Natural.
But it was the Piglet voice. So.
Yeah. I remember John Fiedler in 12 Angry Men. I remember
Mm.
recognizing his voice in that. And then I watched A Raisin in the Sun for high school English class, and he plays the same quiet voice. He's a racist neighbor in that, so
Ooh.
show your range, I guess.
sure. Also here is Eeyore.
Even you must be happy on a day like this, Eeyore.
Positively tickled pink.
Voiced by Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
Thanks for noticing me.
Autobots roll out, I guess.
Peter Cullen comes up every now and again. I think the last time he was actually in a special I covered on this podcast was when he was Santa on Christmas Comes to Pac-Land.
Yeah. And that's a Santa voice.
He's got a great Santa voice.
You want it to rumble.
Yeah. And that's everybody heading to Rabbit's house to hunt for Easter eggs. So now they have to sing a song about hunting for Easter eggs.
We're hunting eggs today. We're hunting eggs today. And I can hardly wait for what we'll find there.
Okay, here's my first opinion, like my first real opinion.
Let's go.
I didn't realize this one was so musical. And
surprise.
It's not that I don't like musicals. It's just there's a lot of songs in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you guys, but I don't find any of them particularly good.
I feel like there might be one coming up that it's just like, well, that one's not bad. But yeah, this one's forgettable.
I always have to put on my, it's made for 2-year-olds as well. And a lot of these are made for that kind of very catchy.
Very true. Very true.
Kids aren't always enraptured by stories of redemption. So, and Easter needs more songs.
We got to fill an hour.
Yeah. I'm probably overthinking it.
But the song comes to a screeching halt when they arrive at Rabbit's because Rabbit declares it's actually spring cleaning day.
Oh, it's spring cleaning day, everyone.
And look, I appreciate a good spring cleaning day as much as the next boring adult, but not on Easter.
Easter, no. And he's really manic in this. Like you see in this early stage, he's like he's blocked the memories out.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's purposely interrupting them, but he's still.
Yeah.
What's this? No, it's.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute. But the voice of Rabbit is Ken Sansom, who played him from 1988 on the Saturday morning cartoon we talked about until his death in 2012. I have mentioned Ken Sansom on this podcast before. He had a very quick role on The Small One. And he was also the voice of Hound on the original Transformers cartoon.
Oh, yeah. See, it's a whole Transformers reunion.
There it is. So, spring cleaning day. Everyone tries to ask Rabbit, don't you remember what today is? And Rabbit replies, of course I do. It's spring cleaning day. Cuts them all short, leading us to believe he knows exactly what he's doing.
He absolutely does. Yeah.
So he hands out cleaning supplies, shoves them all into his treehouse and slams the door, starts reading off his clipboard that the theme of this year's spring cleaning day is Spick and span for spring.
Can you imagine being invited to your friend's house and you get there and they're like, all right, time to clean my house?
Yeah, it's called moving.
Yeah.
But that's what gets me. They're not cleaning up everything. It's not a community thing. Right. You're going to clean my work, which he probably keeps my house. Which he
wait a minute. They're cleaning his house.
Right. That's what I mean. They are cleaning his house and he is not even helping. He is going outside to clean his garden and not be around them.
Oh, Rabbit.
Rabbit is, they all have their foibles, He's always been a bit of a, curmudgeon. But like, I have to look at this as kind of like the difference between the Uncle Scrooge we love and Scrooge and the Christmas Carol. Like, he has to be playing a character for this because this is a really wicked Rabbit.
This is extra.
Oh, this is very over the top, even for Rabbit. But I do have to say, Spick and Span for spring is the theme of every spring cleaning day.
What else is there?
No, that's it. But then he directs everyone's attention to a scale model he made of his house, complete with little wooden figures of each of them.
It's the Winnie the Pooh RPG.
My first thought was Doc Brown, but he did say it was a scale model, and if it was Doc Brown, he wouldn't have had time to make it to scale or paint it.
But he does apologize for the rudimentary workmanship.
Yep.
Mark it off on your bingo cards. Happy Back to the Future Day.
Happy Back to the Future Day.
Assigns everyone a cleaning station as everyone looks around at each other with sad faces. But Pooh, ever the optimist, looks inside a bucket to see if there's some honey in there, but not a smackerel.
No, it's a bucket.
It's not a pot. There's a difference. But to keep Pooh out of trouble, Rabbit promotes him to supervisor.
Supervisors don't do anything, so.
Yeah, Pooh doesn't know what that is. Rabbit says it's someone who sits right here and doesn't cause trouble. That's about right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's when Roo has a question, but before he can ask it, Rabbit assigns him to clean the closet, which is like 5 times his height.
It gave him the easiest job.
I guess he's the only one. Well, no, Tigger could do it.
Yeah.
That can jump up there, but Rabbit then tells him he expects the place to be spotless when he gets back. And then he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. He goes into the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Roo wants to go with him. He won't even let him.
No, Rabbit says, "Oh, you better leave it to me," and slams the door before Roo can ask, "But what about Easter?"
And I don't know where the 100 Acre Wood is, but Rabbit's already got like a full crop of vegetables at Easter time.
Hey, yeah.
That's not, no.
I live in the desert. I don't know how seasons really work, so
I know they're on the other side of the pond and seasons are very different there, but I don't think they're that different. But here I was hopeful that Rabbit was just trying to finish up whatever his Easter Bunny duties were a little later than expected, and he was stalling for time. But no, he actually goes outside to work in his garden by himself.
We have to set up the scarecrow and the pumpkin for later on. So
he takes out each carrot and dusts it off before putting it back into the ground.
And they have names.
Yes, yeah, he names his carrots.
Good morning, Franklin. Oh, yeah, and you're looking well, Frederick. There you go, Belinda.
Like one would name children, before you eat them.
That's why he didn't let anyone come along with. Do you want to see someone to see you talking to your vegetables?
That's it.
It's a private thing.
Sure. But back inside, Tigger's made a game out of cleaning up cobwebs from the ceiling, and it's gross that they're just hanging on his arms as he collects them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't expect Tigger to be the one most eager to get work done, though.
It's a bootlicker.
I think as long as you can turn it into a game of some sort, Tigger's down.
Sure. He's going the Mary Poppins route, and he wants to get it done so they can get on with their Easter egg hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be seeing Eastery a lot after this.
You're welcome.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. But yeah, he also says he doesn't want to let Rabbit down, so let's hop to it. And Roo adds, just like the Easter Bunny. And now he's in a better mood. And they all are, so they get to work. But they kick up a lot of dust that gets accumulated by Pooh. And he sings a little song about his dust allergy.
Sniffly sniff, whistly wheeze, here it comes, a great big sneeze.
Okay, I'm with you, Matt. This is, not everything has to be a song.
Not only that, he takes, it's not a good song, number one. Number two, how do you have enough time to sing an entire song before you sneeze? And again, I'm overthinking it. It's for kids, but still.
Kids like songs about bodily functions.
I mean, every cartoon character has like that sneeze that like involves a lot of buildup, but instead Pooh's has a song that goes with it. And listen, I'm also pretty allergic to dust, so cleaning the house is always real fun. Every sneeze I have to sneeze feels like Pooh's here, as the narrator tells us he sneezed the biggest sneeze that had ever been sneezed in the 100 Acre Wood. Sending everyone flying out of the room.
Poor Eeyore, don't
And covering Eeyore in soot.
Yeah, right. Roo happens to grab onto a ribbon hanging out of a chest sitting on the top shelf of the closet, which topples over to reveal all of Rabbit's Easter decorations.
And they're special Easter items, which they'll remind you of repeatedly.
Yeah, everybody has like their one decoration that they're most attached to.
Right. Pink Easter basket, the honey pot.
Yeah, Pooh's got a special honey pot. Piglet has a little pink Easter basket. Tigger has an especially stripedy Easter egg.
And
Eeyore is quite happy to find a pair of bunny ears he likes to wear.
My fluffy bunny ears.
My fluffy bunny ears.
Don't you like seeing Eeyore happy about something?
I do. That was just like,
yes.
oh, he's smiling.
Right. Could you take these ears away from him?
Yeah. So Piglet very innocently assumes Rabbit forgot about Easter because he couldn't find the decorations, and Roo suggests now that they have found them, they could surprise him by decorating. So here comes yet another song.
Hold on to your socks and open up the box. The streamers and the sparkles and confetti. All the stuff we need for getting ready for the biggest thing we've seen this spring.
They're rapid fire.
Well, the other ones have been kind of quickly in and out. This feels like the first real song of the special.
Yeah.
It's about Easter, and they're going to keep coming back to it.
Yeah, Tigger even sings that his favorite thing about Easter is showing his pals how much he cares.
That's Christmas, Tigger.
It can be both.
It can, but
yeah. You're not wrong. But as they're decorating the house, we see Rabbit walking back with his arms full of carrots. Wait, where is his garden?
Right?
I thought it was in front of the house.
I thought it was right. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was right by his house.
Yeah, this cutaway looks like he's walking a bit more of a distance back.
Took his carrots for a walk. Belinda.
I mean, he did name them.
Belinda and Fran and all the others needed walks.
Opens the door to a whirlwind of color and confetti. Big banner with the word Easter spelled wrong on it because no one in the 100 Acre Wood knows how to spell because Christopher Robin's like 5.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it looks like a giant marshmallow peep threw up in his house. And this has clearly triggered Rabbit.
I mean, if someone dumped confetti all over your living room, let's be real.
I guess so, but this is, I don't know,
Yeah.
Rabbit, like this is some sort of traumatic something, and Rabbit doesn't let on what. Even as Roo wishes him a happy Easter, Rabbit takes a breath and tells him,
I'm afraid you've been terribly misinformed. Why, this is spring cleaning day, and you've all ruined it!
Yeah.
These are the parts that bother me when he's like literally yelling at a 2-year-old.
yeah, he's shouting at all of his friends and literally throws them out of his house.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very mean in this.
Yeah.
one. Like, if you look back at Rabbit's always been, like we said, Rabbit's always been kind of a grumpus, you know, and he does shout sometimes, but a little bit, but
For comedic effect.
But most of the time, Rabbit's more put upon than, you know, he's the why did these things always happen to me kind of guy.
Right.
And in this one, he's just like, you're all the worst. Go away.
I'm just surprised he threw them all out of his house. He's got the lankiest arms out of all of them.
Well, Rabbit throwing a tiger out of the...
He tosses them all at the same time. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But I guess they're all full of cotton, so fine. But
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
All stuff and fluff.
that's right. But now they've all been thrown out, Roo's even more confused, and Tigger explains it looks like Rabbit doesn't want to celebrate Easter with them. And Roo looks through the window. He sees Rabbit put on his Easter Bunny hat, which he stepped on in his rage, and just sighing.
Easter.
In a very defeated tone before adding humph and throwing the hat out the window too. So Tigger just says, well, nothing left to do but go home then. Come on, Roo. But Roo's not there anymore. He wandered off with Rabbit's hat. We find him sitting under a tree by himself, and he asks, why is Rabbit so unhappy? And Tigger says he thinks it has something to do with all this Eastery stuff.
Pretty smart for Tigger, but...
Yeah, Tigger's like a lot more grown up here than I'm usually used to seeing him.
Yeah, especially since Tigger typically, although I guess in the cartoon he did live on his own, but there was a point in time where Tigger was kind of more like Roo's brother, and Kanga took care of both of them because she thought Tigger couldn't, or it was implied rather,
Right.
she thought Tigger couldn't take care of himself.
Well,
And I told a joke earlier about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but these both seem to show what happens to the 100 Acre Wood when Christopher Robin's not around as a mediating influence. Like,
Yeah.
Rabbit's just ascended to this fascist overlord.
Nope.
Come on.
Spring cleaning day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Rue asks, does this mean we're not going to do Eastery stuff anymore? And at first Tigger says, of course we are, until he realizes he can't think of anything. And he really breaks down when he finally realizes that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like that's going to come up later is you might wonder why can't they have Easter? Well, like Tigger can't even think of the first thing to do for it. Like they actually need Rabbit.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, he's their Easter Bunny.
Right, that's right. But here, Tigger breaking down like this felt a lot to me like a check on your happiest friend moment.
Right.
Because just something about Tigger feeling depressed seems like a more visibly sharp contrast to his usual self than when you see the others looking sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he's not going to cheer everyone up. Then...
Right. But thankfully, he perks up again after coming up with the idea to find out why Rabbit's so down on Easter by, and this is a revolutionary idea, asking Rabbit.
Yeah, I mean...
What a concept.
Well, yeah, what a concept. But normally in one of these kinds of things, you wouldn't expect that to come up.
No, it wouldn't.
You would expect them to try and come up with some scheme to figure out what's wrong with Rabbit.
Yeah, that's a very like cartoon plot thing, but
yeah. Mm-hmm. Honest conversation is what Tiggers do best.
That's right. Rue asks, do you really think he can change his mind? And Tigger explains everything changes in springtime.
Cocoons become flutterbys, seeds become flowers, and little Rues become bigger Rues. Anyone can change, even Rabbit.
Rue adds, if we had Easter again, we can make everyone happy. So he gets everyone together while Tigger goes talk to Rabbit. First, he hops home with Rabbit's trampled hat on his head, and Kang is surprised to see him home early.
Rue, you're home already?
Uh-huh. Rabbit cancels Easter.
And Kang is just like, oh, sorry to hear that. I know how much you were looking forward to it. And Rue, with the biggest grin on his face, replies, oh, that's okay. Everyone's sad.
The little things that clue you into drug abuse.
Just, oh, dear. Just an oddly cheerful sadness as he adds, I don't care if we ever hunt for eggs, Mama. I just want to give everyone a happy Easter. And oh, my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rue really brings it home. Like, he's always say he doesn't care about the candy and eggs. Like, he cares about his friend Rabbit. And if this is the only thing you've ever watched, it's like, why? Rabbit's a jerk.
Because Rue's the best.
Yes, he is.
He explains he's not devastated because he and Tigger are going to fix everything. So Rue collects a bunch of supplies from his room, including paper, crayons, and paintbrushes, and Kangas sets them out on the table for when he gets back from getting the others. Meanwhile, Tigger's on his way to Rabbit's house to have a word with him, but as the narrator tells us, he couldn't make up his mind which word to have. As he's trying to figure out what to say, he trips over an exposed tree root, lands headfirst into a bucket, gets wrapped up in Rabbit's Spring Cleaning Day banner, stumbles into some wind chimes and a wheelbarrow full of pumpkins, which, how long has those been there? It's spring.
That's what I had the same thought. I was like, shouldn't those be rotten?
He's got a carved jack-o'-lantern on his head, which is somehow still fresh from October.
It's an old decoration they got.
Sure. It's Narnia.
Mm-hmm.
So when he finally goes walk into Rabbit's house, he looks like a spooky Halloween ghost.
Rabbit. All right, so let me ask you guys. I don't think I read the back before I watched this or anything. This was the moment when I realized what was happening with this story. I was like, wait, is he Marley? Oh, it just hit me.
Oh, it took me longer.
It was something about the rabbit.
Yeah, I think it took me longer too. Just and I didn't have a hard copy of it. I was the first time I watched it was on TV.
Yeah, I didn't find it particularly based on the source material that where, I didn't particularly find it Christmas carol-y until almost the very end.
Yeah, they kind of shove it in there toward the end. It's very loose, but
This is my tiny little rant I always have to do, but as what loves Easter is my tiny little half-serious pet peeve that they always have to just like put a pastel paint on a Christmas story. You can't come up with something that Easter could have itself. Like even VeggieTales did it with an Easter Carol. Like if Christian vegetables can't put their own actual spin on Easter, what hope do we have?
Yeah, that was the VeggieTales had one job. We're gonna get to VeggieTales. I haven't done any VeggieTales specials yet. All right, they're going on the list.
That's okay. You're not missing anything.
Yes, I am. They're great. They're better than a lot of the others.
We've seen some bad ones,
but we'll get to that. Back to Halloween. I mean, yeah. Yeah, he's a spooky Halloween ghost, and he takes the pumpkin off his head, but the sheet's still over him, so it looks like he takes his head off.
Rabbit reacting appropriately.
Yeah, no, I love his terrified look, but Tigger finally gets everything off of him, and after Rabbit snaps out of it, he angrily asks, Tigger, what on earth are you doing here? And Tigger explains, well, Rue's really upset about what happened today, to which Rabbit replies, oh, Rue's upset? What about me? Y'all made a mess of my house on spring cleaning day.
Oh no, the child is upset. What about me, the person who has their own house?
Yeah, right? Tigger starts to say, I'm not talking about spring cleaning today. I'm talking about, but Rabbit won't even let him finish the sentence before stuffing a feather duster in his mouth. Don't say that word in my house, he says.
Well, he's terrifying and menacing. Like Tigger's cowering away from him.
Yeah, and Tigger doesn't even know what word he's not supposed to say. So he starts guessing like carrots, rutabagas, thinking about what's from the higgity jigs.
That's not even a word.
I had to type that one out, but onomatopoeia is one of his guesses.
Onomatopoeia.
By the way, Disney Plus just captioned carrots as carrots. Closed captioning has no time for Tigger's nonsense.
The copywriter had to get out early that day. He was like, I don't have time for this.
It's Disney Plus.
No one's reading this.
No. And a fed-up Rabbit tells him the word he doesn't want spoken in his house that he now speaks in his house is Easter. And he asks Tigger to leave. But Tigger asks, aren't we ever going to have another Easter egg hunt? No, never again, Rabbit says. But you used to love Easter. And he's like, says who? And here is when the narrator interrupts, causing Rabbit to jump again.
I beg your pardon, Rabbit. You did used to love Easter.
Rabbit. That's a menacing voice. It's not
It
just,
is.
hello, magical world. It's
right. And Rabbit doesn't believe it, but the narrator tells him, perhaps you should see for yourself. Remember what happened back in chapter 3? And Tigger suddenly remembers. So as is wont to happen in Disney's Winnie the Pooh stories, we see them flip through the pages of the storybook.
Well, this is true. They do use the narrator and the book, but they did it a lot in this one, to the point where like they're kind of watching themselves on another page, which I was like, interesting.
Well, this is where our Christmas Carol time travel adventure begins. So narrator casually tells us he's taking Rabbit back in time. And I guess the narrator is taking the role of all three ghosts of Christmas, or Easter, rather.
we see cartoons do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have time for all this. We're good.
Yeah.
And it's a good device, honestly. Like, they already have like this time hopping book and other stories and everything.
I'm the narrator.
Yeah.
Don't go away. There's lots more coming your way.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail.
All right, we'll have a big Easter sale. Just please, make him stop. The big pre-Easter sale with deals like a free select Barbie vehicle or playset with a select Barbie purchase of $19.99 or more, or free Hot Wheels performance track set with any Hot Wheels vehicles or playset purchase of $19.99 or more. And new this spring, the Hover Disc for only $12.99, only at Toys R Us.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a podcaster, a lifelong Christmas nerd, and a professional Santa. And I have a Christmas podcast called North Pole Radio. Each week I sit down with a fellow Christmas performer, a fellow Christmas podcaster, or just a fellow Christmas nerd and talk about all things Christmas. There's a heavy focus on the art of portraying Santa, but we also cover Christmas movies, Christmas songs, Christmas food, and, well, basically anything Christmas. So check out North Pole Radio wherever you download podcasts.
And now, back to the show.
So we're narrating back in time. Meanwhile, Tigger and Rabbit venture back to a chapter called In Which Rabbit Organizes a Very Organized Easter. And we see him in his Easter Bunny hat, very excited about the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right down to having to rearrange crayons on a table, which, okay, that I do. I married an art teacher, so there are multiple things in my house that are organized by color.
Well, Tigger was just saying that it was a different kind of rainbow. I think he was advocating for the many types of pride flags.
That's
Tigger's
right.
an ally.
Yeah, remember what I said about a marshmallow Pete throwing up at Rabbit's house? It's kind of like that with some of our books, my kid's closet. So this is Rue's first Easter in the 100 Acre Wood. So Rabbit sends Tigger, Pooh, Piglet, and Eeyore to go get him, while Rabbit stays there to make everything perfect.
And he keeps on mentioning as everyone follows the orders, I get to make all the rules and preparations.
Yeah, the rabbit from the present looks on fondly at himself being the Easter Bunny and how much he loved it. It almost sounds like he misses it, Tigger points out.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we all miss Easter, so why not bring it back, Rara?
Rara. Actually, some of this is starting to sound a little uncomfortably close to home. So this is about a guy who puts on a top hat once a year and pretends he's the boss of Easter. Did you have another motivation inviting me for this episode, Mike? Take your old buddy Sam down a little?
It's okay. You got to show him how it's done.
Well, Rabbit's idea, he even says it's not supposed to be fun. It's Easter.
Oh.
Which is...
Right.
Rabbit seems like a blast to have as a friend, is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, he's sure fun at parties. But Rara denies missing Easter, and Tigger asks why. So Rabbit explains he had Rue's first Easter planned to perfection until Tigger ruined it. And Tigger conveniently doesn't remember this. So Rabbit flips to the next page and shows him.
Well, it's not that he conveniently doesn't remember it, right? Like, that's not what he thinks happened.
Right, no, we're not seeing it from Rabbit's perspective, which we do now. We see Tigger, Pooh, and Eeyore come knocking at Kanga's house. She and Rue have just recently moved, so they're still unpacking. Tigger's come to invite Rue to Rabbit's for an Eastery egg hunt. And after a bunch of close calls, nearly breaking a whole pile of dishes and other breakable items, which Kanga manages to catch, all in midair like Spider-Man.
She has mom powers.
That's right.
Yep, exactly.
She agrees, gets him out of the house while she works on unpacking. So off they go to Rabbit's, where Rue asks, what is an Eastery egg hunt? And he asks if they're hard to catch, which was cute.
It's adorable.
You gotta sneak up on them.
Yes. And then you bounce. Almost bounces right into Rabbit, but he doesn't. Followed by Rue. Rabbit's still trying to organize everything while Pooh, Eeyore, and Piglet just get started right away, coloring eggs and decorating. But no, Rabbit's not ready yet. He wants everything to be perfect.
10 minutes late.
Tigger asks if they can hunt for eggs first and then decorate them, but Rabbit says they absolutely cannot do things out of order. He's getting really upset about this, so he says perhaps we should explain to our guests how we do things around here. Yikes.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Right.
Hunting for a bunch of white eggs.
But you don't want to get grass stains on them.
That's how you color them. No. Nothing good has ever followed the phrase how we do things around here, by the way.
No.
And that includes this song about the way it must be done.
For our yearly Easter fun, we use the checklist. Number 1, we get the eggs and then we lay them out like so. Number 2, we color them and dye them. Then we take them out and dry them and we line them up precisely in a row.
Yeah. It's a little like Little Christmas in the Stars, a little Chicago in it. It's
Christmas in the Stars.
Everyone gets a cookie. I want extra for the Wookiee.
Because he's already owned a comb. But yeah, here Rabbit busts out charts and spreadsheets while everyone else just wants to get started. But he keeps yelling, no, it's not time to get started yet. Stop having fun. He sings at one point.
Can I point out his big rule is actually a lie, though?
What's that?
When they show his clipboard, the steps go line eggs up, stack eggs, pack eggs, make list of eggs, find eggs, clean eggs, lay eggs, color eggs, dye eggs. He had the hunting plan before. He was just being a jerk for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I love a good checklist as much as anyone else. I live and die by the reminders app. But that's just so I don't forget anything. I don't have the obsessive need for order that Rabbit has. And I do think he has legit OCD.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And as the others continue actually decorating eggs and making a mess in the process, because that's what happens when you dye eggs, Rabbit, he gets tied up and painted on to the point of screaming, "Stop!" And our Rabbit from the press that's standing outside the book with Tigger shows up. There, see what you did? And Tigger replies, yeah, everyone was having fun. But eventually, Tigger realizes everybody except Rabbit was having fun. And for a second, I thought he was going to apologize. But instead, Tigger says, well, there was plenty of fun to go around. Why'd you stop us?
There is that kind of, like, there's a big theme of Rabbit not paying attention to what anyone else wants, but like the book allows Tigger to like take a step back and see things from Rabbit's perspective. I think it's something for the kids who are watching, that it's a kind of advanced, not all about you.
You're seeing, how it looks from Rabbit's perspective too.
Right.
And we see Rabbit in the past as the Easter Bunny telling the others they need a remedial lesson on the rules of Easter. And as he's going over them, he's putting eggs in a basket with his back turned. So Tigger sneaks up to him, takes the eggs out of the basket, and when Rabbit turns around, everyone's gone.
Yep.
They started hiding and hunting for eggs without him, which, okay, that was rude.
He put all the prep work in. All the decorating got ditched.
He's hosting the party. Let him host it.
But he was also really asking for it.
Yeah, he's overbearing, but when he sees everyone starting the hunt without him, I felt for him there. That stinks.
You
ever get ditched by your friends like that?
Or you put all this work into something for your friends,
or even just straight up getting ditched somewhere by your friends.
Doesn't feel good, even for a Rabbit.
No, I got ditched at Disney World one time.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
It was a group of us in our high school senior trip. I was going to Muppet Vision 3D, and I knew where it was, so I said, it's this way. And when I turned around, the rest of the group was gone.
Lame.
Hey, Mike, what's your favorite memory of high school? Moving 1,000 miles away from it.
Actually, you're giving me some of those like Rabbit post-traumatic stress. I'm remembering some exact Disneyland trips like that.
Oh, gee, yeah. Well,
I'm with you now.
That's as tragic as I get. Don't worry about it. But anyway, Rabbit sees Roo tell Tigger,
you gave me the greatest Easter, Tigger. So I guess that makes you the best Easter Bunny ever.
And everyone else joins in cheering him and just, oof.
There's, and then you kind of can see it from Rabbit's point of view, because Mike, you were talking about being ditched and everything, but do you remember being young and like feeling like you maybe weren't your best friend's best friend? And, like,
Yes. Yep.
that was like a terrible feeling. Like you realize maybe your best friend liked somebody more than you. And so like, it's not, especially for like a kid, and it's never great to hear somebody like say that maybe somebody's better at you than something, but especially from that kid perspective, it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
As he's in the bushes, so it's kind of like they're talking about him behind his back, like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really, this is at when love is gone level of Christmas past, putting in the knife and twisting it.
Right, but
that's how bad it is.
I'm not sure Rabbit's the villain here.
No.
Tigger doesn't mean to be either, but this just crushes Rabbit. No wonder the word Easter has become a trigger for him. That is devastating.
Right, exactly. And so he's not necessarily the villain, but there's a very valuable lesson here about talking to people about things that have hurt you.
Yes.
Like I know you said that, and it was very hurtful, and whatever else, rather than just immediately going right to, we are never freaking having Easter again. You're all coming over and you're cleaning my house while I leave you and go outside.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
Right. But for now, the rabbit from the past just sadly takes off his hat and bow tie, puts everything away in that purple chest in the closet. As the rabbit from the present explains softly to Tigger,
every spring, I look forward to one thing most of all, being the Easter Bunny. You took that away from me.
And now Tigger explains he never meant to hurt him. Okay, but you did, and Tigger still doesn't apologize here.
No.
I remember, well, it was Rue who said it, and again, he's a 2-year-old. Like, sometimes 2-year-olds say things you wish they wouldn't, but we're the adults.
Yeah, but Tigger says, we were just trying to give Rue a happy Easter. Didn't you want to give him a happy Easter too? And Rabbit just tells Tigger to go away. He wants to be alone. Yeah, dude, take a walk. So Tigger goes back to his own page to tell Rue the bad news that they're never going to have another Easter egg hunt. Well, what's stopping you now? You made your own last year. Clearly you didn't need Rabbit then.
But he does.
Rabbit has all the supplies.
Oh, he's got all the stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Tigger just went ahead and absconded with it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he takes them out of the basket. Okay.
And we covered this, like, Tigger tried to think, okay, we'll still do it. Like, this is, I think, if we wasn't so specifically a Scrooge story we were telling, there would be a lesson here about how you need both a rabbit and a Tigger. Because you need someone making the plans, having the eggs. Like, I'm pretty sure any moms listening agree with me, because like, I love holidays, but if I do it on my own, you're gonna have a Christmas tree with lights out. They're not gonna have the right number of eggs. Like, you need that person who actually makes.
Oh, forget it.
Oh yeah, no, and we'll go back to the Disney World metaphor again. You can have a lot of fun at Disney World, but there's something to be said for knowing what you're going to do when you're there instead of walking right in, maximizing your time at Disney World.
Unless your goal is just exploring, which is also fun.
Sure. Yep.
That's like a day on its own. But now Rabbit's standing alone on top of the book, so the narrator asks if he'd like to see more, and Rabbit says, no, he's seen enough. I want to go home. So he does. And we flip back to whatever page the present is on to find Rue, Eeyore, Pooh, and Piglet practicing for an Easter egg hunt by hunting for rocks.
Answering your question from before. That's what happens when they try and have Easter without Rabbit. They're coloring a bunch of rocks.
Colored stones. Oh, I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah. Not a terrible plan. If you don't have any eggs, just color the rocks and hide those.
There you go.
Yeah.
We see Tigger sadly walking back to Rue's house, not even bouncing. So he's serious.
And you're right about how depressed that makes you seeing Tigger like that.
I know. Yeah, no, Tigger should not be walking.
It makes you sad the same way seeing Eeyore happy makes you happy.
Yeah, yep. Rue asks him, are we going to have Easter now? And Tigger sadly tells him no. Roo asks, does this mean Rabbit's still not happy? Why not? And Tigger explains, well, when we did the Easter egg hunt without him, we took away Rabbit's most special Eastery thing of all.
He and the Easter Bunny.
But no one else is feeling badly for the right reasons.
Except little Roo, like, and his full Tiny Tim. God bless us, everyone.
Right. Piglet's sad to not have his basket. Pooh's sad about not having his honey pot, and you are sad about his bunny ears. When Roo asks, isn't there something we can do? Pooh says, yes, we just have to think about it first. And this might be the only time I've ever seen anyone imitate Pooh's think.
Think, 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 think,
Think.
They all walk around in a circle, thinking, even Kanga. Meanwhile, we finally see Rabbit arrive back to the present page, or is it? The illustration on this page isn't Rabbit's house, it's Roo's.
That's not my house.
Right. There are some Easter decorations sitting outside in the dark. It's nighttime now. The narrator tries to play it off like, oh, I must have stopped at the wrong page, but Rabbit sees through his trickery, asks him why they're here. To which the narrator replies, why don't you go see for yourself? We're at Bob Cratchit's house.
Well, and this is another, we haven't had a song in a bit. And this is kind of like the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of the slow, kind of heartfelt, this is somewhere out there.
This is the sad reprise of Tigger's Easter song.
'Cause what I like most about Easter is the way we show our pals we care. For the fun never ends when you give to your friends and you share.
Oh, I'm picturing it in my head.
Yeah, and Roo's drawing a picture of him and Rabbit holding hands. He seems to be the only one who's actually upset that Rabbit's not okay instead of there not being Easter festivities.
Yeah. Roo gets any cuter, I'm mailing him to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, that's where you'll stay.
But everyone keeps on talking about the other special items like you are, and like our little heart and soul of this special, like that little drawing of him and Rabbit holding hands, like
yeah,
and you're getting like, why are you so connected to this guy? Is this a toxic relationship? But
he's the Easter Bunny.
But I think he obviously was bonded before this.
Oh yeah,
oh sure, yeah,
they're all buds. Roo tells Kanga, who comes in with a plate of cookies because she's awesome. And Roo explains when Rabbit stopped being the Easter Bunny, he lost his favorite thing of all. I wish I could make him happy. And Rabbit looks on from outside the book, touched for a moment before going, and walking away.
That's cold.
It's not the kid's fault.
Yeah.
It's everybody else's.
The way he just blows that off, it's just further down the dark side.
He's really hurt, man. But he goes home, cleans everything up again, and falls asleep, leaving the narrator to take matters into his own hands. So now it's time to wade a tiny bit deeper into Christmas Carol territory, just a little.
This is where I finally caught on.
Okay.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a small smackerel. As the narrator calls out in a ghostly voice, Rabbit.
Rabbit. Here, Batman.
Rabbit.
Huh? What?
Wakes him up and says there's something he wants Rabbit to see, and in a swirl of smoke, Rabbit is transported to a blank page that has not been written yet, to an Easter yet to come, or rather a spring cleaning day yet to come.
Poetic, ain't it?
Man, if I bought a book that didn't have words at the end, like some pages were not there, I'd be very upset.
Hey, yeah. This book's half empty. Why are these 2 pages blank, Hobbs?
This one's a misprint.
I didn't pay for a metaphorical lesson. You give me...
So Rabbit now looks in awe at a perfectly organized table full of spring cleaning supplies. But he also notices no one else is there. He assumes they're late again as usual, but the narrator tells him they're not late, they're gone. Everyone moved away. Heck with your feelings, Rabbit.
I have to clean my own house?
Where would they go?
I don't know. He goes to Pooh's house, finds it empty, littered with cobwebs. The same with Piglet's, Eeyore's, and Tigger's.
Like, did Christopher Robin realize Rabbit was being mean and pick them up and move them all away?
Oh,
Like,
that's it.
They're all in the toy chest.
We got to get away from you. While Rabbit's at Tigger's house, a gust of wind blows a piece of paper inside, falling at his leg. Rabbit picks it up to find it's the drawing Roo did of the two of them, now faded after who knows how many years.
Right. And now he's touched by it?
Yeah, well, he goes to Roo's house, and that's also empty. And Rabbit doesn't understand, especially since Roo was looking forward to, and the narrator interrupts, spring cleaning day. You know, I thought this special really had something going with Roo just now, but to the narrator's point at the beginning of this special, Rabbit didn't treat his friends like friends. So yeah, it's okay to admit that everyone except Roo sucks in this episode. And Kanga.
Kanga, yeah, she is the mom. She probably should have stepped in at some point, but
I guess, but yeah, no.
Yeah,
everybody else sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where, if you haven't figured out this was a Christmas Carol allegory yet, this is where it's the most obvious, probably. Rabbit asks the narrator, well, since you said these pages haven't been written yet, that means they could be changed, right? And I really thought they were going to have him wake up in his room like Scrooge. But he does break down into tears, but instead Rabbit stands up, decides it's not too late, he can change, he'll be a better friend, he'll give everybody their Easter things, and he opens his big purple Easter chest to find it's empty.
It's gone. It's too late.
And he lets out a terrifying no! And then he wakes up on the floor the following morning.
Yep.
I kind of like how the words not written and also the chest, they're really like that kid's allegory for the tombstone that says Scrooge, you know?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to do that here, but it brings along the same feeling that kids can understand.
Sure.
Yep. Very much so.
And the first thing Rabbit does when he wakes up is open the box to see if it was all a dream. And thankfully, everything is still there. He's overjoyed at his second chance. He's as giddy as a school bunny, he says.
You gotta be marking out at those
yeah
quotes right there. I was like, he said it.
Oh, absolutely.
He was really going for it, yeah.
And he has a brilliant idea to surprise his friend that he tells us in song about making this the grandest Easter of them all.
They won't believe it's true. I know exactly what to do. We're gonna sing, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna dance. I'm gonna bring us all together for the grandest Easter ever. Oh, I can't believe I got another chance.
And while he's singing, Rabbit does the coolest thing I can't believe I've never seen another Easter bunny do. He takes out a half dozen tubes of paint, holds them in his ears, and squeezes them onto eggs in midair.
That's what the ears are for.
That rules. Why have I never seen an Easter bunny do that before? That is the coolest Easter bunny trick.
You would think Bugs Bunny would have done that. That seems like his kind of trick.
Yeah, well, no, he just has a paintbrush into it. Like, it's the Easter rabbit on Easter egg. Meanwhile, we see Roo wake up. The first thing he looks at is Rabbit's old battered bunny hat on top of his own stuffed bunny who looks an awful lot like Rabbit. And Roo has some sort of epiphany. Sorry, that's the wrong holiday, but he's got an idea.
Well, we're a day late, but Easter Monday's a thing. Check the ecumenical calendar.
Sure.
He has an idea. And it's not like a fantastic out there idea, but it's a 2-year-old's idea.
Sure, yeah.
So it works out.
It's very Frosty or Adventures in Babysitting. He just needs his magic hat.
That's right.
Everything will be.
So Roo grabs the hat, tells Kanga he knows how to make Rabbit happy again, and hops out the door to gather the others. Starting with Pooh, whom he wakes up by running through his house with a wheelbarrow at top speed. Picks up Piglet, Eeyore, and Tigger the same way, tells him it's time to get work making something. We don't get to see it right away, but Tigger says he hopes Rabbit likes it. And Rabbit walks in now, asks, Why don't you ask him yourself with his fake Scroogey scowl, doing the old scare Bob Cratchit gag.
Super scary.
Stamps into Kanga's house carrying a bag full of something, and everyone is terrified and shaking. Like, here comes my abusive boyfriend shaking.
It is that, but they really went far in making. I've said this before, but
like even Eeyore's eyes are wide open in fear.
The little tiny kid looking up at him, I'm like, I know you're playing a joke here, but
yeah, Rabbit's like, what is the meaning of this? And Roo, as bravely and humbly as he can, starts to tell Rabbit they just wanted to say they were sorry for ruining your eat, but Tigger stops him from saying the E word. But too late, Rabbit shouts, were you about to say Easter? Well, you can't have Easter.
You can't have Easter.
Then with a giggle, he adds, without all of this.
Oh.
And he gives everybody their stuff back. Tigger gets his stripedy egg, Pooh gets his honey pot, Piglet gets his basket, and Eeyore gets his bunny ears.
And Roo gets his friend.
Well, and Eeyore also gets a new fluffy tail Rabbit made to complete the ensemble.
Oh, yeah. The tail's always like Eeyore's big thing he's sad about. So it's a pretty thoughtful gift.
Yeah, well done. And for Roo, Rabbit says he owes him an Easter egg hunt, so they walk out the door. And it looks like he decorated the whole 100 Acre Wood with ribbons and baskets and balloons and eggs. It looks amazing.
He did a great job. Maybe he is the Easter Bunny.
Headcanon accepted. And seeing Rabbit's reform causes Tigger to exclaim, what the dickens? Adding, and I do mean Dickens, while raising his eyebrows and looking directly at us.
If you didn't get it.
And since Rabbit hid them, he invites Tigger to lead the hunt. Tigger tries to protest, but Rabbit insists,
I'm the Easter Bunny, and I make the rules, and rule number 1 is... there aren't any rules about Easter.
About that. Yeah, there are like a whole book full of them, dude.
Oh, we don't go to that side. I swear.
So off everyone goes to start the hunt, but Roo says, wait, we can't have Easter yet. Not without Rabbit's Easter Bunny hat. That's what they were all doing. They were fixing the hat.
Yep.
Which moves Rabbit to tears of joy when he sees it all patched up and looking better than ever, actually.
All cute with those sloppy kid little patches.
Yeah, I like the patches. He tells Roo he came over there to give him a very special Easter, but Roo has given him the grandest Easter ever. So now they start their egg hunt, and Rabbit's so full of joy, he starts hollering like Tigger with a hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. He sings one last reprise of his song.
'Cause what I like most about Easter is the way we show our pals that we care. For the fun never ends when you give to your friends and you share the wonder of a bright and sunny honey of an Easter.
And that's it.
There we go. And that's kind of the secret there. You need the Rabbit to make the plans, and then you hand it over to a Tigger person who can just go with the flow. Like, this is the magic formula for every holiday.
There you go. Teamwork. Let the bunny do the organizing and then take it from there. You know, like real life.
Yeah, that's how I live my life.
There you go. Any final thoughts on Springtime with Roo?
It's cute. It's I might watch it, maybe not every year. I'm not like the biggest Easter celebrator, so like I'll watch it if I remember to, maybe. But I don't know. It's cute enough. It's not my favorite one though. Like I said at the top, I'm a big Winnie the Pooh and 100 Acre Wood characters fan. But yeah, no, this one is like a once in a while maybe.
I think it goes with Easter well, even more than Christmas and everything. Like the 100 Acre Woods just feels like that Easter feeling that you want, like the beautiful landscape, the flowers, everything. I think it's a natural fit, not just because they have a bunny. And while I joke about them just redoing Christmas stuff, it was nice to see Easter get its chance on such a iconic story, so we could have a Scrooge Easter Sunday here together.
Yeah.
So I'll be seeing it again.
Yeah, this is a fun special that I like to put on every so often. Maybe not every year. It's not important to me like some of the others, like you said, Matt. But it's always fun to watch Rabbit be the Easter Scrooge.
Yeah.
I'm torn on whether I would have liked it better if the other characters had stepped in to be the ghosts of Easter. But I also don't know if that would really work in this particular telling of the story. Narrator does a fine job by himself.
Yeah, they would, like, you have a reason for the narrator. You would have to really twist things around. It would have to be a rabbit having a dream or something, separate from the normal book rules of it.
Yeah.
This is simpler. This is...
Yeah.
I would like to see Tigger dressed up as a ghost of Christmas Future, though. So
that would be fun.
If anyone listening wants to draw me fan art of that, I'll be watching. So.
Well, the pumpkin was kind of close.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Got 3 holidays in one. Give me another. I'm upping my score on it.
Well, as mentioned, there's a lot of other Winnie the Pooh holiday specials, so I'm sure Pooh and his pals will be back again someday. But thank you both for spending Springtime Scrooge Sunday in summer with me.
Yeah.
Happy spick and span for spring, everyone.
There it is. Well, if people want to raid your closet for decorations, they shouldn't. But where can they find you on the internet? Sammy.
Actually, I have a closet right behind me of decorations, but yes, you can find me at Sammy Hain mostly on Twitter. I'm trying to spread out to all those Johnny-come-lately newcomer platforms. And on Facebook, I also have my own Easter page. It's Sammy's Easter Tales, TAIL, where
of course.
I put all my videos and Easter reviews. So if you're in the mood for more of this, look me up.
And Matt.
I am the host of 2 other podcasts. One of them is a general geekery pop culture podcast that I do with my pal Justin called Two Broke Geeks. The other one is a Christmas performer centered podcast called North Pole Radio. So if you are a Christmas performer, Santa, Mrs. Claus, elf, or you are curious about or interested in becoming a Santa, Mrs. Claus, elf, you can check out North Pole Radio. And hopefully by the time you hear this, in either I wrote a book, a Christmas book.
Oh, that's
Christmas
right.
Novel.
Oh, I got to hear some of it.
Yeah, and it's hopefully being published for Christmas in July.
I hope
July
so.
25th.
Hey.
So it's called Santa in His Own Words, and if I am correct, it will be everywhere. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all that good stuff.
Nice.
And then if you want to follow me and all my nonsense, I am on Twitter. I refuse to call it by the letter that Elon Musk seems to want me to call it by. I'm trying to use it less, but I'm Ace of Knaves 87. And I'm also on Threads, where I am trying to be more. And I am also Ace of Knaves 87 on Threads.
I tried Threads and I don't know, something.
It came around to being, when it first started out, the thing with Threads was you couldn't just see your followers. You had to see everything that Threads thrust upon you.
Oh, yeah.
And now you have a for you and a following timeline, and the following timeline is much better. It's much more like what Twitter was back before it was a whole lot of ads. Although on Threads lately, I've been being followed by a lot of bots. So that's one danger. There seems to be a ton of bots over there. So.
Oh boy.
Bunny in bio.
Well, please check out all of those things. You can find those links in the show notes of this episode, and you can find me on the internet by just going to adventcalendar.house, and you can take it from there. Tune in next time when we switch back to Christmas, but there's still a kangaroo to find. Keep a lookout for that. Until then, for Matt and Sammy, from a tiny version of my house I use to plan cleaning days despite the crudity of the model, this is Mike Westfall saying please watch out for the icy patch, and TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Next time on the Advent Calendar House.
Some people ride camels and some ride mules and others ride turtles and don't they look fools? But it's fun to relax and be carried away when you fly through the sky in a real Santa sleigh.
When you fly through the sky in a real Santa sleigh.